This is Aceful Travel, and we're in Lake Minden.
Aceful Travel, and today we're going to talk about Lake Minden and our trip there. So, cool positive thing, we didn't spend an hour looking for a spot like we did in San Benito, so that was so worth it. Just being able to literally find a spot and go. You'll see though, I'll show you some clips here in a bit. There was Loop A, Loop B, Loop C, Loop D. Loop A was the only one with full hookups. So, if you're going there, you're probably going to need a small rig because the two spots butt up to each other, and when one's there, another one, it's hard to fit in. And the spots are really tight, like homes in the Bay Area tight. So, there's like no room to do a whole lot if you're in Loop A and you got full hookups. So, Loop B is their campground area, and of course there's no hookups there. So Loop C is where we ended up. Tons of room, beautiful, but only power and water. So if you're looking for something that has absolute full hookups with a lot of room, I hate to tell you, Lake Minden's probably not going to be the Thousand Trails spot you want to go to. So overall though, it was, really roomy, easy to set up. We found some really nice shady spots. We found easy spots right next to our friends. So overall, that experience was pretty good. Word of advice, public service announcement. If you bring an animal with you, right, be a responsible pet owner. Clean up after your pets. So we came into our campground, our friend's campground, clean as can be. No problem. We had a bunch of dog crap in ours. Like literally piles. We were cleaning them up. We thought, oh, we got them all. Well, there was some under the truck. So we had to move the truck after we unhooked and clean those up too. So please people, clean up after your animals. After we got there, we hung out, we unloaded the bikes, and we actually traveled around the park on the bikes. And as you can see, it was not as easy as you'd like it to be on a bike, but nonetheless, it was still fairly easy to get around. Sorry for the shakiness and the wobbliness. I don't ride bikes often, so I'm not too keen on getting the footage perfect. Day 2, we explored the park with our cars and went to the store, checked out kind of what they had available. And because it was the time of COVID, of course, they didn't have their restaurant open. Their store had very limited hours. And yeah, very limited amount of people were allowed in there. They had some cool stuff in there. We picked up a couple of cool things. And of course some snacks, things that we wanted for the kids, and skedaddled out. But it wasn't, tremendous. It was a nice little spot, and easy to get to by the entrance. So, then we went to the lake. So, the lake actually has 2 beaches. Okay, so we went to the beach, and there are 2 beaches in this park. One's a little smaller, another one's a little bigger. Surprisingly enough, the small one was really full. And because of the restrictions on people that could be around the waterways or the beaches at one time, we were kind of stuck. So we were kind of stuck. We had to go to another beach. Now, funny thing, the older kids and the adults kind of stayed out of the water this go around, but it gave me a time to fly the drone around. So I really like going on trips, camping trips, because it really does give me an excuse to pull my drone out and kind of fly it around and have fun. So you get to see here, there's a lot of cool spots about this place, and it was just from the sky, this place looks really awesome. And there's a lot of water you can be on if you got a canoe or you got a kayak. If you have something to be on the water, You're probably going to have a little more funner time here, but it is, you know, a man-made lake, and it's stagnant, so there's no waves, there's really nothing a whole lot going on, just take it where you have it. So we did pizza that night, and so definitely some do's and don'ts. We got some pizza dough from our local grocery store that makes pizza, so had good pizza dough and all the toppings and sauces and everything. So do bring along a wine bottle or something to help roll your dough out. Don't roll it too thick. Don't roll the edges up. Another thing is, do pre-cook the dough a little. So go ahead and put that on your flat top grill and cook that a little bit. It will really turn out so much better. And it'll actually make your experience way more enjoyable and faster for all involved. Needless to say, we didn't eat till really late. So we're eating pizza by lamplight. But a cool thing, so I did come across a little friend when I was using the restroom. As you can see here, the restrooms were all right. Get a C+ for me. They weren't bad. The showers were all right. They could use a little more updating. So some of the walls, you can tell, were a little rusty, and it just overall, it was an okay experience. Hashtag would probably poop here again if absolutely needed to. But you know, sometimes you have things that are more than one flushers. And when that happens, well, you hope that everything works. Needless to say, second flush, not everything worked. I was wondering what's going on. I wasn't even hearing any water going. I lifted the top and found there was a pressurized system there, which is cool, does its own thing. But I found a little friend in there as well. Very interesting. And I came back to camp and no one believed me. Not a single one. So I had to take my son back as witness and take photos. Because of course, you don't have photos or video. It didn't happen. So, we have the video of our little friend to thank because my friends didn't believe me. Also there, near the bathrooms, was a relic of old times. Now, I hadn't seen one of these things in a long time, and it had a dial tone. Of all things, it had a dial tone. It reminded me, it kind of gave me a nostalgic feeling of when I used to call my mom Collect. Come pick me up from the movie theaters. Thanks, Mom. So day 3, relaxed with a good breakfast, and the younger kids flew kites. We compared all the mosquito bites. So apparently the night before, we got eaten alive by mosquitoes. No matter what we put on, over-the-counter stuff, what have you. I had 19 bites on one forearm. I had... It was insane. All of us adults were itching like crazy. We were trying everything. We tried over-the-counter stuff. So, needless to say, if you got some remedies to keep the mosquitoes away or deal with the mosquito bites, put them in the comments, because I want to hear them. So, needless to say, to deal with that, we decided to go to the lake again, and everybody got in this time, even the adults. Well, I found out this beach, actually in the water, is not very sandy. In fact, it's very silty, muddy. It went up to my calves in mud. But man, did they make those bug bites feel a lot better. So it's therapeutic in a bit. Unless you ask my wife, that absolutely hates not being able to see the bottom where your feet are, and even hates even more the idea of having something squishy between your toes. So, if that's where you're at, don't go in this lake. It will definitely freak you out a little bit. Day 4, well, we continue to itch like crazy. And I'll tell you, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9, coming home, all those days we were home were still itchy. So, man, again, give me your remedies below, because we didn't find anything that was helpful. I have a feeling that it was more than mosquitoes. I think it was biting flies. So if you got any remedies for those puppies, let me know. So we hitched up. We ended up coming home, and lo and behold, because it was Monday, we stopped at Chick-fil-A. We don't have one here where I'm from, so coming through Sacramento, it was a sweet treat. So we definitely, well, may have gotten a few extra to take home for lunch the next day. But that's really it for us. So Lake Minden, a C+. It's one of the places that are closer to where I live, but honestly, it wasn't my favorite camp, and maybe it was the mosquitoes, maybe it was the over 100-degree weather. It just wasn't as enjoyable as other camping trips. So, you know, we'll see. We're going to Lake of the Springs next, so hopefully that'll be a lot better. As always, keep traveling. Well, thanks for watching this episode. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button so you know when we got new content, and go check out my man Dapper Inspirations. We did a collab video on this trip, and I think it was really good. So find the link in the description and go check him out. He's definitely worth it.